Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the Everton Daily Live. But before we get into it, there's a little message from Ped.
This episode is brought to you by Think. We all know not to drink and drive, but drug driving is just as dangerous. Drugs mess with your reaction times, your focus, and stay in your system for more than a few days. So even if you think you're fine, your body and brain say otherwise. Police now do more roadside drug swabs than ever. One quick test, and if it's positive, you're facing at least a 12-month ban, a criminal record, and an unlimited fine that stays on your licence for 11 years. And could also cost you your job, your insurance, and even your right to travel abroad. So be smart, make a plan, skip the risk, get a cab. Crash with your mates, or hand your keys over before the night starts. Think, don't put drugs in the driving seat.
Thanks, Ped. There you go. Wise words there from Peter McPartland.
Who'd have thought it?
Matured. He's matured. This running is making him more mature.
He's an athlete now.
How are you?
I'm good. Yeah.
Good, yeah.
No.
Got over the weekend, yeah?
Yeah. It's in the past, isn't it?
What did you make of it overall?
Um,
It was a rubbish game, wasn't it?
it was. Wasn't hugely dissimilar from the Chelsea game in some respects. Of we're tidy, we show a little bit of promise. There's no cutting edge. I think when I've done my analysis match reviews, I described the Chelsea game as a low quality game, right? Yeah. And this wasn't much better, was it? But it is curious that really good teams apparently play their worst game of the season when they play us. Yeah. Or teams come to our gaff like Villa did, just desperate to get out with a point, yeah, and then go on.
I don't think that was Arsenal. I think Arsenal.
No. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about. Yeah. I was going to talk about and then go on a great run. In other words, it's hard to test exactly where we are because we look not particularly uncomfortable against a very, very good team, but ultimately we lost.
Yeah.
Right, so those marginal gain things, which might be simple things like getting in the ref's ear and all those sorts of things, we just need to up our game on some of those as well. I think we let the officiating get away with stuff. I think.
Yeah, I agree.
The stadium's mega noisy. Tifo machines finally in, better late than never, and all that. I thought
that was excellent.
I thought it was tremendous and well done. The 1878 yet again, because I'm sure they've been banging on at it every single time they've had an opportunity to bang on about it. So that was great, and we just need to perhaps up our intensity a little bit, as you know, on the field. But you wouldn't have thought we were the ones who had the more depleted squad, would you? Really? I think
Arsenal
counts in the end.
I think they just played. They played within themselves.
They did.
They don't. Did. They're not as attacking as they were. They're more conservative, getting the results. I think if they'd gone on us the whole game, they'd probably
I agree.
won it by more. But
because when they were really boring, they used to win things. Yeah.
Well, this I was saying this to James yesterday about them. They remind me he's far too young for the reference, but they were like George Graham's Arsenal, as in brilliant defensively and had loads of quality, but it was all about getting the results. Obviously, Arteta's built a different team. They've gone from being City light in some respects to being great at set pieces, and now they're amazing defensively. They don't give up any chance. I think they're giving up
unbelievable, aren't they?
0.3.
Is that all it is?
XG, a chance given up a game.
So what we got from them was pretty much average.
Yeah, we got not. If you think about what we had, we didn't have an attempt at goal really.
No, that's right.
Raya's, the only shot we had on target was an Alcaraz looping header, which the goalkeeper walked forward 4 steps and caught, and that was classed as an attempt at goal. Raya was never. He didn't have to dive for anything. He was never extended.
But we should have had probably then more than twice their average XG, because a penalty is about 0.7.
Yeah. Well, the XG was 0.2 to 2.
That's right,
in Arsenal's favour, because obviously second half they should have put the game to bed.
So it would have been 0.9 then if we got the penalty.
Well, it was a penalty, wasn't it? It was, they got a penalty, that was a penalty.
Yeah.
And we should have had a penalty, that was a penalty. That was a penalty. We saw last night Fulham getting a softer one.
Yeah, well, I watched it and you think, crikey, It's funny, actually, because Carragher tried to explain it afterwards. And rather than go down the track of the Fulham's as a penalty, so was Everton's, he seemed although he said it was more force in the Everton one, it came across as that shouldn't be a penalty because the Everton one wasn't. You know what I mean?
Well, if the he's right. If the
He is right.
they're following a line of consistency,
Yeah.
but both were fouls because the player kicked
No, I
the
agree.
player's foot, not the
No,
ball.
I agree. But the most material thing here is the on-field official last night gave a penalty, and VAR did not overrule it. The on-field official in our game didn't give a penalty, and VAR didn't overrule it. I think when we've talked, you and I have talked about this, and Ped as well, we've talked about it many times. Sometimes they need to use that screen for optics, if nothing else.
Yeah.
You know, send him over just so everyone knows you've done your due
If Anthony
diligence.
Taylor wouldn't have been in such a good position
He was in a cracking
to
spot.
give the
It was a
penalty,
perfect spot,
I
yeah.
wonder if they'd have sent him the screen. And that would have been the
You mean if he hadn't give the on-field?
if he'd have been disguised a little bit,
Yeah.
someone in the way, which I think Barrett didn't have a great view on
That's
Saturday,
right, yeah.
so he wasn't sent the
Yeah,
screen. I
yeah.
wonder if Taylor would have or wouldn't have been sent the screen.
I think based on, it's an interesting one, right? If the referee had an aberration, Anthony Taylor, and not given a penalty, they wouldn't have called him over.
No.
Based on what happened in our game, they wouldn't, would they?
Well, he shouldn't have done.
So you're totally, it appears you're relying to a large degree on a referee having such a clear view that you could argue you don't need VAR anyway. The whole point of VAR is to increase the percentage of decisions that are correct. And they always come out, don't they, with the 99 point whatever. Yeah, but actually, the ones you're getting wrong are the ones that change games.
Key ones, yeah.
Yeah, so.
It is weird.
It's mad.
Weird.
It
and
is.
obviously Fulham won the game because of it.
Yeah. I mean,
You know. But I think for us, for me, it was just when you take out the quality that we took out, there's not much underneath it.
No.
You know, the lads who come in. I mean, to be fair, Irabuno had a good game. He did do well.
He did.
McNeil done nothing.
He was, Diblin didn't do much out of it.
No. And thingy, Alcaraz was poor, and I like Charlie, but he
was
didn't
a
have
poor
good
game for him. And again, we've talked about this in the past. When he starts, he often doesn't have the same impact, does he? I think he was trying too hard. Did you think he was trying too hard?
I don't know. I just think he just,
Whatever that means, like.
he
But
just couldn't get into it for whatever reason, and the things you want him to do, he didn't do.
maybe it's just against the most miserly defence in the league.
Well,
It was
maybe,
hard
but
work, yeah.
there was one early on I was saying yesterday where he picked the ball up and went on a run, and it all opened up for him to shoot,
And he
and he
didn't.
passed it wide.
Yeah,
And
he
it was
did,
like,
yeah.
why have you not had the shot? He could smash it. He could, we saw it with Grealish, didn't we?
Don't buy a ticket, mate.
Exactly. Grealish at Bournemouth. You know, he hit it and slipped, and it deflected and went in. You know, and anything can happen in that. In a game where, like I said before, the opposition don't give chances up. When you get presentable shots at goal, test the goalkeeper, get shots away. Anything could happen. So that was the only thing. I just thought when you strip our quality out the team, like Dewsbury, Hall, Idrissa Gana, Gay, and Jai, everything's then reliant on Jack Grealish, who didn't look fully fit either.
Did he? No.
Your two fullbacks. I mean, all it did, I think the three of us in the studio were talking about it yesterday. All it did was highlight how poor our fullbacks are on Saturday.
Yeah.
You know, when you look at their two centre-backs, their two full-backs, Timber and Calafiori, but
That's
the
right,
two
yeah.
very skillful attacking lads. So it doesn't really matter that they're not out and out
They're mobile.
full-backs, because they still get forward, they get in the box, they score goals, they create goals. Our two are so defensive. I can't have a go with O'Brien. He's a 6'6" centre-back playing right-back, and he hasn't got the nuance of Calafiori or Timber.
He's got a big turning circle.
He's a big lad we saw his quality at Bournemouth, didn't we, as a centre-back. Mikhalenko is a good 1v1 defender. That's what he is. But with the emphasis being on defender. And I've done a bit on the final word yesterday.
It's almost like you think we need two fullbacks, Baz.
Well, I'm not the only one, am I? Everyone knows it. But I was saying I'd done the bit on the final word yesterday where both fullbacks contributed one cross in the whole game.
Was that it?
It was Mikhalenko.
Each?
And
One between them, you
one
mean?
between them. And it had a 0 success rate. And both wide players had a 0 success rate of crosses. Grealish didn't attempt any, and McNeil attempted 4 and couldn't find anyone with any of them, which was the quality of his game at the weekend. So when you're in wide areas and you haven't made one cross into a box, that's a success. There's a huge issue there. And it's evident against real top quality. And I think we found that. We've lost 6 out of the 7 games we've lost have been against Champions League opposition.
Yeah.
And that's when you need your fullback, you need quality.
Well, it's when you need to be more progressive and stuff. And the manager, hopefully, because of the failings, which are the fullbacks and the wide forwardy type stuff, I don't think he needed to test us offensively against the very best defence to learn anything.
No.
But it just writes it very large, doesn't it, against a defence of that quality. We don't even scratch it, do we?
No.
Never mind put a dent in the thing. We don't even scratch it.
The other side of it, so we're going to go positive.
Well,
Nobody has, and I said this, I was on Arsenal Fan TV, the thing last week, and I said to them, the thing I've taken away so far from the season is...
I know what you're going to say.
No one, I haven't looked at anyone and just gone, they were simply too good for us. You know, with maybe the exception of Newcastle. But even when in that Newcastle game before it went 2-0, we were all over them. We missed opportunities. When it went 2-0, they were the better team. So maybe that one. Spurs beat us 3-0, and I don't know how. I really don't know how. I'd love Everton to have an away game where we go away and we essentially never have the ball and win 3-0.
Yeah.
Because it'll, I'd love that to happen.
Brighton again, you want?
Yeah, Brighton a few years ago when they had all the ball. Every time you attack, you score, because that's basically what Spurs did to us that day. But we've been in every game. We've given everybody a game. At Anfield, we started too late, but they ended up hanging on and, celebrating like they'd won everything. City, we missed opportunities before we gifted them 2 goals. So we've been... That's where the level's gone up.
It's key moments.
But it'll ultimately come down to goals, and this team doesn't score goals, does it?
Absolutely.
Where are you with Tieno, Barry, and the Beto conversation? Because obviously Barry has stopped. He hasn't scored. We haven't given him any opportunities. He said this yesterday. He's not a striker that misses tons of opportunities. We don't create them.
Well, there's always an element of Marmite about these things, isn't there? Right, and players get better sitting on the bench. Yeah, and this was the most miserly defence in the league. And there's people around me who wanted Beto brought on. And I said, well, he won't do better.
Yeah.
So I persist with Barry.
Fair enough.
I think you called it last week, which is sorry, I put words in your mouth, but this was the gist of what you said. We should persist with Barry as the starter, and it's up to Beto when he comes on to make the manager pick him next time.
Yeah.
And from where I sat, Beto didn't do anything to justify starting the next game, right? Therefore, he should start Barry again. But we need to get something in January, an old hand probably, someone who fits Davis' profile. Yeah, done it before, way over 25, experience, blah, 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 scores goals. Yeah, I don't know if those creatures exist.
Yeah. I think the thing with Barry is, what I would say is, he's got to do more, though, himself.
He has.
He's got to get himself in and around the box.
He has.
He's got to be a bit stronger. He's still, at times, he's a big lad. He's got to
tall.
Tall, so he's got to have to use his frame a bit better than what he is then. He's got to get himself in there and get hurt trying to score a goal. Beto, at the moment, when he comes on, isn't making even a dent in anything. He's coming on and...
Just being on.
He's just on the pitch.
That's right, yeah.
That's unlike Beto, really, what we've seen. He's been someone who's a chaos causer. He's someone who's affected games at times. We know his deficiencies, and they're never going to change. He's 28. They're never going to change. But he isn't even... It doesn't seem like he's even making the manager think he might be better starting.
He's becoming a real problem, I think, because he's there, paid a few bob, right? The way we play doesn't suit him, and he's not adapting his play. And you've just said, well, he can't, he's 28. What you see is what you get. And we're not going to change how we play to suit him.
No.
That means, in the absence of anyone else, Barry should start every game.
But then I can't be hypocritical because last year when Dom went on a run, I felt he had to be taken out. I think I
think there's an element of that.
I'll never move from my view that as a centre forward, once you're hitting 5 and 6 games without a goal, you need to be taken out.
But you're doing that, I think, for psychological.
To protect the player and protect.
That's different.
Protect a perception of the player.
I think we have a manager who will always try and play as the best player.
And again,
in the position and therefore the team, right? And so the thought that he would start Beto simply to take Barry out the firing line.
No, it's not. It's not
the tough love thing.
I don't do it as taking him out the firing line. I do it as a reset button. If you keep playing, it's just my view, how I've always looked at it. If you're just playing and the games are going by, and I haven't played as a striker, and it doesn't matter what level, anyone will tell you this, a lad playing Sunday League, a kid, when you're a striker and people rely on you to put the ball in the net, once you go sort of 4-5 games without a goal, the goal looks this small. It's tiny. You start second guess everything you're doing. Right?
Yeah.
You sometimes need to come out of that and then go back in it.
Sure.
And that might only be for a game. That might be.
I get it.
He takes better. I'm not advocating this, by the way, but it might be that he takes Barry out against Burnley and starts Beto, and then Barry comes on for half an hour, and then it's sort of back. I'm not saying he should do that yet. I'm just saying something like that can sometimes reset you.
No, I get it. If you've got an ology, right? You personally, I mean.
Yeah.
Right, your ology says a goal scorer doesn't score for 5 games. I don't care.
Unless the caveat is he's playing out of this world and he's creating goals and he's occupying.
I've just fixed that bit then, right?
But then if it carries on to 8 and 9, he's coming out even if he's the best player.
You went early there, Baz.
Sorry.
Because I was going to say, my ology is goal scorer, that's his job, doesn't score goals, all his round play, everything's brilliant, it just isn't scoring goals. Bang. Ology says take him out. You've corrected that, which is good. No, because if he's...
But only for another couple.
Right, okay.
Then he's out.
So your ology is you don't score for 5 games, you're out, unless your all-round play convinces me, give him one more.
To give him one more
type of thing.
Yeah.
The idea that... and Burnley are quite miserly in the Championship, but not in this league. So the idea that Barry would be your man and then you... A game where you might expect, that we're going to win.
Yeah.
Right, you take Barry out the fine line. Beto gets it.
No, I wouldn't be taking.
Well, he hasn't got to 5 yet, has he? What was he?
No, he's only
barely game 3 or something since he scored.
He's had 2 since he scored.
Okay, so game 3 since
Chelsea and Arsenal.
Yeah. So game 3 since he scored, and then Forest away,
yeah.
and he scored the time before. Right. So there's it's 2 games for 5, isn't it? So what you're really saying is to Barry, Tierno, lad, you've got to score in these games. Otherwise, he's getting a go.
But the managers did say that, didn't he?
Yeah.
The manager
otherwise, he's getting a go.
After Forest, he won't be left in again.
Yeah.
He won't have one in the next 6.
Yeah.
And be playing.
That's right.
So
yeah.
he will. So,
yeah,
and if I was going to take him out of one of the away games, it'd be Forest.
Yeah.
Really, I'd let Beto knock them 2 about for an hour at the City ground and then bring them on. Because I'm looking at Brentford at home and Wolves at home, thinking Barry can get it half full in both if we create chances. If we don't create anything for him, he'll carry on not scoring goals.
If we'd got our justified penalty, he would have took it.
I think he'd have had it. I think he'd have wanted it. But the only other one I can sort of think of is James Garner.
Yeah.
Really.
Because he takes a good penalty.
But it would have been interesting, yeah.
He'd have grabbed it, wouldn't he? Said,
I think Barry would have grabbed it,
yeah. And then goals for strikers, you think, well, there you go, 2 in 4 or what, 2 in 3, whatever.
You just want a goal, don't you?
Yeah,
as a striker. But... yeah, it'll be interesting. Obviously, David Moyes has his press conference today at 1:30, so there's only really an update on Dewsbury Hall, isn't it? That's all. And I can't imagine he'll be available for this. Be amazing if he was, but I can't imagine.
Think he'd give Jack some downtime?
He can't. I don't think he can.
That's what I mean, yeah.
I don't think he can. He probably could do with it, because this is the most he's played.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The big picture might be give him a bit of rest.
He's played already more Premier League games than he played last season for City in the whole season.
Yeah.
I think he's probably played comfortably more.
And he gets a lot of the ball as well.
And he has a lot of the ball. And he's on the, City, he'd be off after an hour.
Yeah.
Whatever. He's on every game. Very rarely he's taken off. So he could probably do with a little reset, but at the moment he can't do it, can he?
So he played 20 league games last season.
All appearances, a lot of. Have a look how many started though.
Oh yeah, I've only done it on Wiki, which is quick sort of thing.
Yeah.
But so he's the same. He's 16 now, isn't he? So.
Yeah. So if you do, transfer market, we'll tell you.
Yeah, you do the minutes thing.
Yeah.
I could do the minutes thing. Yeah, that'd be a good one. But that'd be the full season, wouldn't it? So the minutes
Yeah, it's the full season.
So you look that up while I look the other one up. Meanwhile, talk amongst yourselves, people. Yeah.
Oh, a little co-op here now. It's from last season. Yeah, so he's been involved in 18 games for Everton so far.
There's the cups as well, yeah.
Including the 2 cup games. He's changed how they do these bloody things.
See if I can get there before you do.
You probably can, because normally I don't want that.
Right.
Give me 17 adverts.
So far this season, he's done 1,343 minutes of playing. In the whole of last season, 715.
Yeah, so he's doubled his minutes.
So he's nearly double the minutes in less games. And obviously in half the time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, basically last season, half of his games were essentially sub.
Well, yeah, I mean, he averaged 30-odd minutes a game overall. So, yeah, it's a big uplift, yeah.
So for him, it's actually a case of, the load that he's got through his leg sort of thing. It's more than it's doubled so far already what he had last season. Yeah. So he will be feeling knackered.
Of course he will.
There'll be times when he probably does need a little bit of a rest. But we can't give him at the moment.
No. So
he's just going to have to get through it, as we all are. This is a bad period. Don't get me wrong, we've had a tough run. We've had United away, Newcastle at home, Bournemouth away, Forest,
Chelsea.
Forest at home. Then we had Chelsea away, Arsenal at home. The tough games.
Oh, yeah.
And these next 4, if Everton could win 3 of the next 4,
we're right in there.
Then we are in there. We're right in there. And then can we build? Forest away will be difficult, even though positionally the 4th bottom, but they're still, I think, they're miles better than 4th bottom. They're miles better than Leeds.
There's a gap there now, isn't there? 5 points. West Ham looking in serious trouble.
Well, it's between Leeds, Forest and West Ham. The other 2 are
Do you think Wolves will go down? Yeah.
And Burnley will go.
Yeah.
So it's between West Ham, Leeds and Forest, isn't it? Yeah. And I think Forest are too good. So I think personally it's between West Ham and Leeds.
West Ham and Burnley have...
Leeds,
well, the bottom 3 have all got... are the only 3 teams whose goals against starts with a 3.
Well, Leeds are on a brilliant run. Now, whether that carries on, we'll see.
Well, DCL's having one of his purple patches.
He's having a great run.
Yeah.
So if he carries on scoring, then they'll get points, won't they? West Ham, I think, will improve. And especially, they're going to get a striker in January.
Are they?
Yeah. So, I think they'll improve. So between them. But for us, if we could get... if Everton could take 10 points out the next 12, that'd be a tremendous run of points.
Set us up for what follows,
Oh, God, set us up massively for that second half of the season.
Yeah.
But 3 wins out the next 4, even if we lost the Forest, I think it'd be a good return. But you can only play 1 game at a time, obviously, and Burnley's the one on at the weekend.
Nuno's won 2 in 12.
Yeah.
His job's at risk, isn't it?
Well, it will be, but he done it with Potter, didn't he? And he done it. Lopetegui was they asked about
aberration.
David Moyes at them short. They were way above what they should have been.
Oh, yeah.
He dragged them to levels they should never have been at West Ham. Moyes. And they've done the West Ham thing, and they got Lopetegui. He was jag.
I saw it because of the McNeil to Forest rumours and all that. The Telegraph fellas.
Apparently the modern rumours.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The Telegraph man's talking about it. And a tweet from a Nottingham Forest fan made me smile. And the fella had the good sense to turn off replies, right? Because he basically said, Dwight McNeil, I'm not having that.
Yeah.
We're much better than that. Yeah. We buy stars.
Okay.
I don't know that.
Not sure about that.
Yeah.
They bought some good players. They have stars. I'm not sure
Not
about
getting
that.
the most out of them now, are they?
Not sure. Well, because the fella who's at West Ham had them sorted and had a way of playing. The owner is an absolute clown.
Well, he apparently is expecting a European pursuit.
Well, he was, but he's an
No,
absolute...
now he said it recently. Apparently,
He's a clown. The fella's a clown.
because he probably builds on what you've just said. I know we're drifting off Blues, but which is they've got better players than that. So he can't just go, I've got the players to get into Europe, so we should, because look what's happening. And you appointed all these managers.
If you step back and look at it, you would say, everyone does that, don't they? You look back and you go, we're miles better than where we are in the league.
Totally,
Everton have been miles better than where they are in the league under Dyche. They were miles better than, should have been better
As
than
demonstrated by the new manager. Yeah.
the new manager. But Sean Dyche did it the year before, and then he shit the bed and went back to, I'm terrified of my own shadow.
That's
you know,
right,
that kind of thing. And Moyes improved it. But you see it with a few clubs. Forest have bought a hell of a lot of players and shouldn't be where they are. They shouldn't be chasing Europe either, by the way, but they shouldn't be where they are. So we will look at it and go, well, we should be higher up because I'm paying all these people these kinds of... I've spent ridiculous money and I'm paying them stupid wages.
We talked about their stuff, didn't we, when we...
But they're getting worse and worse and worse.
Yeah.
But they should have just left. If they'd have left Nuno in, they'd have been probably where Forest as a club should be, which is mid to lower Premier League. And they'd have been fine. They wouldn't have been in any danger. I still don't think they will be anyway.
They are where we were a couple of years ago. They have the good fortune that there's teams worse than them.
And that's what it is. So now, if you're a manager...
They've got 5 points on them, haven't they?
If you're a manager of any note, you would go nowhere near that place. With him in chat, nowhere near that place.
That's what I was about to say. You can't even sack the manager because you're an impulsive person, because you're paying danger money to whoever takes the gig as well. But they've got 5 points on West Ham, so you know. But if we get those points, though, absolutely.
No, but that's if Everton got them, it'd be on 33 points.
Could have nosebleeds and everything.
January. Well, no, you're right in the European race.
Absolutely,
whether you get there or you don't, it's nice. It would be nice to be speaking about that in January, wouldn't it? Going, we've got half a chance of getting into Europe here. See how it plays out, but you know.
West Ham have managed to land with, between now and the end of the year, they've got 2 home games. That's big for them.
Yeah.
And we've got 2 away games, and we get stuff out of that, which, as you just said, sets us up.
And Moyes generally, his teams have a strong second half of the season.
Yeah, I've tweeted that the other day about we literally, with a little bit of sprinkling of acquisition, players coming back, Brandwaite, hopefully, Dewsbury Hall, the guys with Jan, come back from AFCON at the latest sort of thing. And you start thinking, if we've done what you just said in those games when we're a bit shallow, we get some
out
points.
the results.
Yeah,
that's what it's about.
Then you start to look upwards, aren't you? In all seriousness, and the finances will all be better. We're on telly all the bloody pain in the arse for us fans. The stupid kick-off times and God knows what else, but it's all going in the coffers for spending big in the summer, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we're in Europe, even if it's in the Mickey Mouse Cup,
Well, mate, I'll bite your hand off for
of course,
that. I don't want to be in the Europa League.
No, you know what my mission is?
I mean, I do, because the money, but I'd rather be in the Conference League.
You know what I
Everton
want?
would win the Conference League.
Conference, win it. Europa
League, win it.
Champions League.
That's an easier thingy.
Who knows? Imagine that. I've been Everton first, wasn't it?
DB Cooper, I'm absolutely thrilled there's no Boxing Day game. I couldn't be happier. I could not be happier. I hate Christmas football.
And we're always crap on them as well.
Oh, it's awful.
Yeah.
Christmas football's rubbish. Shouldn't be any football. Till the finished Saturday, they shouldn't be playing again till the new year. Give them all a break and give fans a bleeding break.
Isn't it funny that when it suits them, whoever they are, clearly the Premier League, they can have loads and loads of crazy kick-off times.
Whatever they want,
and they could give every single player and therefore every single fan a few weeks off, so-called winter break and all that jazz. But they no, we can't because fixture congestion and all that. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Loads of it. But I am absolutely buzzing. There's no Boxing Day game, honestly. Really. The 27th, the next day. It's not like there's no Boxing Day game and they're not playing till, people are getting withdrawals.
It's only one game, isn't it?
One game.
Man United, who have to play twice in a few days, so that telly gets its nice big, every Man United fan will watch it type.
I never understand why people are obsessed with it, because the quality what you watch is dreadful.
Boxing Day, I've never liked it.
Everyone's knackered.
Yeah.
People,
particularly if you've got an away game on Boxing Day.
You're like, why? Why should we have games every other day?
Yeah, particularly if we have an away game on Boxing Day. It's tradition, or it has been tradition, isn't it? But wait till the FA Cup tradition gets eroded.
Yeah.
When's it going to be all midweek games? That's what I want to know.
That's what they think they're open, aren't they?
Yeah.
Which would be a bit rubbish. I do like footy, Joe. I watch a lot of footy. At Boxing Day, Christmas football, I've been consistent. I hate it. I've never enjoyed it. Never, ever, ever. I don't understand what the obsession with people who love it is. Because the quality of what you watch is dreadful.
It is.
So what's the point? Do you know what I mean?
Especially if it's your team that always looks like they've had too much over Christmas. Yeah, and that's always
the turkeys.
I don't care what the stats say. In my mind, we're always cack on that because we've enjoyed a good Christmas Day as players. I mean,
Yeah.
But the idea that you could be playing away, you're not even home at Christmas Day, or you're going away on the afternoon and all that rubbish. You know.
Eugene says, I think the Premier League needs a winter break like they do in Scotland, yeah. If it's good for every other country, have them winter the Christmas off and then starting up again. Why are we different? But listen, I get it. New Year's Day, I have no issue. They should play New Year's. New Year's Day, no problem whatsoever.
It's not the same as Boxing Day.
No, because it's...
Except you went to bed later.
We go to bed late, but I'm just saying, I just think there should be a little break over Christmas, I think, for everyone to reset it, but everyone's different.
So you would have had last weekend.
Everton had played for me.
The game weekend, so Monday, so last night would have been the last game.
The last game,
until
and then it would have been New Year's Day, yeah. And that would have just given the players...
just 2 games.
The players a blow.
Yeah.
And given.
And you've got to find dates for 2 games, that's all.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
Mad.
But listen, everyone, there's clearly a lot of people like that, but Burnley, Burnley's a big game, and hopefully we can go there, and I don't care how we win it. Go there.
In horrible terminology, we've had a few expected defeats. This is an expected win, isn't it? So they do need to stop.
I never do expect the wins with Everton.
Yeah,
I hope,
but
because I've seen it. But no, we should be. Yeah, we should be looking and going. We're miles better than these, even with a threadbare squad.
Yeah.
Got to go and produce it, though.
Of course.
Got to go and do it.
Yeah.
Posh Matty says, do you have a club that you hate, which is a bit irrational? Baz hates Fulham. I don't hate Fulham. I really don't hate Fulham. I don't. What it is with Fulham is,
go on,
they amuse me that they're just... No, but that's it. They're not... They don't care. And that's... I've got an admiration in that they...
Go to the theatre every couple of weeks.
That's it, yeah.
It's called Craven
And
Cottage.
they just turn up and they just enjoy life.
Yeah.
And so I don't hate them. I just think... There's a nice, like, weirdness about Fulham. And I love going to that ground. And
that's the ground you've been most to?
Yeah, it is. Over the years. I don't mind them. I just think that it's such a strange club that no one... You go there...
You don't dislike them.
I don't dislike them.
No, I mean, not you. Nobody can dislike them.
No, because you just go there. If you don't want any pressure, go to Fulham, manage them and play for them. There's no way is anyone, Garth isn't having a go at you running down the wing there, or Travis, Hardy. They're not having a go at you there at Fulham if you kick, a cross.
Garth and Travis.
You kick a ball straight into the crowd.
Henry.
Henry and Rupert are just going to be like, well played. I'm just giving you the clap. I've got no issue with that. I like that.
They play COVID games every home game, don't they? No noise and pressure
just
from
quiet, just relax.
Except for those ruffians over there in the away end.
Yeah, Leeds, Phil. Leeds, wham you. Only because it's the fans again, though, isn't it? It's like Newcastle. Like I quite liked Newcastle under Keegan. I liked watching them. They were dead attacking. I had no issue.
They did have for a while, didn't they? Everyone's second favourite.
Yeah, I wanted them to win the league. When United won the league in 96, I think it is. I wanted Newcastle to win it. They were brilliant. Loved watching them. And you didn't, because of no social media, they were just their fans, weren't they? They were supporting their club and all that, and everyone just sort of thinking. And then obviously social media kicked off, and then they got ideas above the station, and then started telling you how big a club they are when they're not a big club. Do you know what I mean? They're a one city team.
One team.
One team city. And therefore...
Is Nottingham a city?
if Liverpool was it's got a cathedral, I think.
I don't know.
Has it? Don't know.
Because they're another lot above themselves.
Yeah, but you ignore them. That they are a tiny club. Notts, call them now.
Yeah,
What they were singing to us the other week, they've got to become Notts Forest.
Yeah. Arsenal fans are no better. Or the ones that turned up at the weekend.
They were ridiculous.
Yeah.
They were ridiculous.
I thought our people, whoever pressed the button to stick it
tremendous.
up.
Well, I was saying yesterday,
It was tremendous.
Give them stick and say whatever you want and all that. But
that was world
the
class.
best response was just put that on the screen.
Yeah,
and
world class.
If you, like I said yesterday, if you don't agree with that, then
something wrong with you.
There's something wrong with you as a football club, and there's something wrong with you as a fan base.
Yeah.
So, and they've been called out, haven't they? Robbie's from Arsenal Fan TV's called them out, and a few of their fans.
Yeah.
But then you can't tar all of them with it, can you? You don't do that, you know.
But there has to be a lot for you to hear them, though.
But what I found weird, and I said this to James yesterday, was why are they singing another club's song? That's what I found weird. Like us, I was saying to James, like us taking a song that City fans sing to United and us singing it like we're in a rivalry. But it's just that it's the weirdest thing I've ever heard. So weird. So, but there you go. Yeah. James Graham, one team, City, and owned by a country. That's why he hates Newcastle. Yeah, Mark, West Ham fans are a bit mad like that as well. They won the World Cup, you know. Considering they've never done anything.
Champions of Europe, you'll never sing that.
They're just not a big... West Ham aren't a big club. They're just not a big club. You know, the original big five were Everton, Liverpool, United, Villa and... Spurs and Arsenal, weren't they? And Villa were just on the cusp of that.
Man City and Chelsea,
forget about them. But they were the big five.
Yeah.
They were the big five and were the big five for years and accepted as the big five. So when you then go, all right, push those five there, what's happened since then? So then, okay, Chelsea have had tons of money and won everything because
money buys.
Cheating isn't right, but they've enhanced themselves by money.
But they have cheated.
They have cheated because they've owned up to it. They've done it. I didn't mean that. What I meant was they supercharged their club with tons and tons of money.
Yeah.
So they pushed themselves.
It was Blackburn on steroids. Yeah.
So they pushed themselves into that because they have to, because they've won everything.
And
then Manchester City have done exactly the same.
That's right.
And City were always a biggest club, good club, brilliantly supported. They weren't at the level of this five. And Villa, I look at Villa as a big club as well. So they're the six. Newcastle can't possibly be in that. Or West Ham United. Because they were never in it. And haven't done anything in all of that time to say that they're close to it.
Yeah.
Now, in 20 years, if Newcastle have won 3 Champions Leagues and 6 Premier Leagues or whatever, then you go, well, they are in there now, aren't they? They're well supported and they win everything and they're renowned and all that. But until they do that, they can't possibly be in it. The same. Villa are a big club. I've literally just said Villa are a big club, haven't I?
Yeah. Yeah, you did.
Villa are the same size as Everton, really, in my opinion. Or thereabouts, very similar. So, but I'm telling you who were the five, who were renowned as England's big five. Villa weren't in that. Villa were here, but they weren't in that. And what I'm saying is, what of those other clubs you've sort of pushed themselves in and tell you that they're bigger than them? Well, what have they done? West Ham and Newcastle are not even anywhere near the conversation for getting in there. Doesn't mean they're not brilliantly supported and all of that, because they are. But they're not in that, which was based on history, size, everything they've done in the game. That's where that came from. That's why Villa were in the conversation. Chelsea and Man City have forced their way in by spending tons and tons and tons, billions of pounds to force their way into that conversation.
Yeah, let's put you on the bubble now.
Go on.
So which team has spent the most seasons in the top flight?
Who spent the most in the top flight?
Baz.
It's Everton or Arsenal. It's Everton who spent the most. Arsenal have got the longest unbroken run.
That's right, yeah.
In the top flight.
Right. Who's the second longest, most seasons in the top flight?
Villa.
Yep. Third.
Is it Liverpool?
Yep.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah. Then Arsenal.
Yeah.
But of course, Arsenal have never been relegated. So then Man United, then Man City, then Newcastle, then Tottenham, then Chelsea. And then you're into Sunderland. So the 9.
Sunderland a bit. I've said this
Yeah.
phrase. In fact, Sunderland historically are bigger than Newcastle.
Yeah.
What
that's
we've won.
Yeah. So, but when you look at it, Everton have been obviously in the top flight forever and a day. Small
Little blip.
time elsewhere in the 50s. 11 years more than Villa. You know what I mean? So when you do it historical, it's just mad. And I don't know. Let's keep going until we find what Forest is. Do you want to know all the teams who've been in the top flight for more years than Forest? Sunderland, West Brom, Bolton, Blackburn, Wolves, West Ham, Sheffield Wednesday, Derby County, Sheffield United, Stoke City, Middlesbrough, Burnley, Forest. Lads, 22nd in the league table of most seasons in the Premier League. Sorry, top flight, because there was a league before Premier League. Burnley have been in it a lot more than you lot. So it's the recency bias is crazy. And of course, it's all about current form and all those sorts of things. But,
I've got, again, it's you can never sort of qualify it anyway. It's just how do you break that down, and that's how it was broken down.
Yeah.
And that's why, and that was my grounding. So it's like kids now growing up, they wouldn't see Everton as a big club.
No.
But Everton historically, and have always been a big club.
Absolutely.
Obviously a massive club.
Yeah.
So.
And we will again.
Emma, hello. I don't know why I didn't get a notification. But we are back at 3:00 for a Christmas-themed show. Live 3
Special
till
guest,
5.
haven't you?
Special guest, Emma. You won't want to miss him. Or her. Could be a hair. So, yeah. So there you go. Let's have a look at some of these Premier. Harrison Armstrong, just quickly. David Moyes touched on it last week.
He'll get asked again, won't he?
Played at the weekend, 70 minutes for Preston. Heckenbottom was asked after the game, and he sort of was like, well, I'd like him to stay. And I think it's better for him to stay. But I understand Everton have got issues at the moment. And what he said near the end, which I thought was really telling, was he might just go back and help them out for a few games, and then
so they've got into that conversation.
He won't be away for too long.
Yeah, so they're into that conversation of they're short on numbers. I understand, but he will be coming back.
Yeah. I think the thing is,
it's where KDH is, isn't it? Yeah.
What he's saying is, if he goes to just sit on the bench to give Everton a body, I get it, but the reality is he should then be returning to us. If he goes and gets in every week and tears it up, then he's not coming back, is he?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
So, Blue Jay, talking about the Burnley game, says there should be no Dwight McNeil on the right. Give Dibbling a run. And also, did you see the Fulham penalty against Forest look very similar to ours? In the words of Silla, surprise, surprise. Everton Viking says, think Moyes needs to be applauded in a lot of aspects this season, but still think he's done a very good job. But want to see him be more brave and less safety first. Get Dibbling in the team, get Roll in the team, be more positive. I just hope he can be more positive. That and his inability to develop younger players is frustrating. That said, I think he develops players in the 22-23 age range well. Irabuna's become a lot better, Newcastle aside. And I think he's going to become a good member of our side, be it squad player or even potential Ghana.
How many points do you think we'll get from the next 2 games, Baz?
The next 2?
Yeah.
4. I'm going 4 points.
Yeah, I'd go 4.
I'm 4.
So that's 28 points. That's mid-50s for the full
56
season.
If he carries it on.
That's what Moyes is doing. He can be frustrating, but it's big picture stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, listen.
And if we win those 2 games, so we settle for 4.
Yeah.
But if we win those 2 games, the manager is standing there smugly saying to the owners, go get me what I need then.
Even if he wins one of them, even if we won one, lost one, we'd have 27 points.
That's 54.
At the turn of the year, it's 54. You go, I can actually get more than that if you get me what I need.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got 30 in 19 games last season. And we drew loads where if we just would have had the right mix.
We should be looking. It'd be interesting to see what it turns out to be. In my mind, if I'm the one setting the target for the manager and then he pushes back by what he needs to do that.
Yeah.
Right then, David, I want 5 to 10 more points in the second half than you won in the first half. Even right now, I'd say 5 to 10 points, and that's where the 10 comes from, isn't it? If you actually do that in the next 2 games, the 5, maybe only 5-ish points, anything more than 5 points in the second half, and we're right in there, aren't we? But we're going to win the FA Cup anyway.
There you go. You've heard the first. You've heard the first. Rich Parry says, afternoon, lads. I don't see the point in starting Dwight McNeil. Away from home, he likely need pace to break, and he didn't show anything against Arsenal. Dibbling deserves a chance, even though his body language says he can't be arsed. Lastly, after watching Jake bottle 2 50-50s on Saturday and offering nothing, I wouldn't do any harm changing that up either. I like Alcaraz, but he looked like he'd been on a bender prior to the Arsenal game. Adam says people question whether Dibbling is trying his best in training. He doesn't even look like he tries his best in games when he comes on. Never mind training. It looks like he casually strolls around like he is messy. Very little desire in his body language, and I can't remember the last time, if any, I saw him sprint. All these things, I imagine, with Moyes are non-negotiables. You can apply that to someone else as well, then. Because that's what I've seen from that player this season.
With less talent.
Yeah, less everything. Looks disinterested.
By the way, I agree with the don't play Dwight Neal at Burnley, but not for the purpose of having pace in the team to counter-attack, because we should just be camped out on the edge of their penalty area for the whole 90 minutes.
I don't think we will. They move the ball well. I think
but that's what we should be trying to push high. Anyway, we'll see.
They're quick, though, and we haven't got any pace.
Well,
we've got no pace at the back.
Let's talk about our team rather than theirs. But
no, we have to look at it. You have to look at it. You can't go, we should do that.
No, we're not going gung-ho.
We'll never play like that. We'll never play out like that.
We've played lots of teams with pace, and we've been all right. But yes,
we'll see.
We will see. But that's what the person's talking about. Cautious Dave approach to life. So.
Everton Viking says, don't get to catch many lives anymore, but hope you're all well and hope you and everyone in the Toffee TV community have a boss Christmas and New Year. And you, mate.
Smashing.
Good
one.
Rich says, on another note, lads, have an amazing Christmas and New Year with your families and loved ones. You truly do a wonderful job and gives us something to be happy about every day up the Toffees. Thank you, Rich. Much appreciated. All the best to you and your family, mate. Everton Viking says, I don't think Dibbling's body language reads he can't be arsed. It reads to me as devoid of any confidence, looks terrified of taking any risks or making mistakes. And unfortunately, that does come from the management team. We are naturally risk averse, so you can see players not taking chances, not shoot, be scared to take chances on passes, because that must be an instruction from above. The safety first, risk averse approach gets you wins, gets you points, but it also gives you a glass ceiling. We need to be confident. We need to get confidence into these players and not have them terrified of making mistakes, because when you're scared of mistakes, they happen. Yeah, very good point.
You stick a proper right back in that team and whoever plays in front of him.
Oh, we look instantly better.
Yeah.
Instantly better.
Yeah.
Jake says, I think the right back position is really hindering the team.
True.
Our best performances this season have been with James Garner at right back, and that's no coincidence.
Also true.
I think the left back as well.
Yeah.
If you want to be creative, if you're trying to sit in and keep it tight, Michalenko's sound. But if you want to be creative and get forward and score goals.
But as we've talked about it in the past, you can settle for a defensive-minded left back if your right back is very offensive-minded. And what I
don't think you can, though, with our left winger. You can't.
Oh, because with Grealish in front.
Well, it doesn't matter who it is. Grealish and Jai, McNeil, Diblett, whoever's on that left. Your left back can't.
You want Grealish holding the ball and then just, there he goes.
Yeah. Well, if he goes, then the defender goes, I've got to go. And then that gives Jack space to either shoot or whatever.
Sorry, it's in a priority basis.
Yeah. No, well, you've got if we had, and this again will take me back to why we didn't go after a jet-heeled winger, a winger that can run, because then that would allow you to switch one of your fullbacks up. So if you're going to go with Jack on the left, then that's fine. That's great. He's a top player and get yourself a fast left back then who bombs on.
Go past him.
And then if you've got a quick winger on the other side who can directly run at players, then it negates the need for your right back to get beyond. But if we just change the right back and we get an attacking right back, that's great. But on this side, we're still going to have the problem where the left back doesn't know how to run beyond Jack Grealish. She's still going to have the same problem when it goes out to Grealish. And we want to get the ball to Grealish because he's the best player. Currently at the moment anyway, without Njai being there. So there is an issue on both sides. And when you see the best players, the best teams, their fullbacks basically just play on the edge of our box.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not disputing that. Both are problem childs positions, sort of thing. But we don't have financial restrictions per se. I mean, we know PSR's fine, right?
We could get loans, though, for this month.
Yeah. So, and if the manager is just saying no, because he's looking for what absolutely he wants, and he needs to set aside, it's not your problem in the sense of what it costs. That's somebody else's problem. But the halfway house there is loans, isn't it? If you're unsure, David, we won't give you a player who we're quoting back at you in the summer that you can't have what you want because we got that person in January. Then that's what we can expect, isn't it?
Definitely.
And let's hope we go early on that, as we've talked about before. Yeah.
Blue Keelish, it isn't the last show before Christmas. That's at 3 o'clock, so join us then. But thank you very much. Have a great Christmas as well, mate. David Murphy says, I'm still fuming over the Saliba challenge on Barry. Yeah. Fulham given a very similar award last night. Why some Evertonians are saying it wasn't a penalty have never played the game. I said weeks ago that the experiment of Jake O'Brien at right back has run its course. Michalenko was once again shown up as a limited footballer. We may as well put a mannequin up front as well, because we don't, won't and can't cross a ball into the box. It'd be interesting.
Does Saka have another quiet game?
He did. Michalenko did okay against them until the 2 times Saka decided to run on him. He destroyed them both times.
That's the point, isn't it? As we've said, which is the limited part of him is almost not quite a man-to-man marker, but someone who's focused.
No, that's his thing. He's if you stick him on,
focused on that. Yeah,
he blocks. He stops them being able to play the game. He's a good defender.
But you need to do more than that in this league.
Blue Keeley says, I feel like we had this conversation last season with why Beto and Dom weren't scoring. It's the same issues now. We just don't give them enough service. Everton Viking, proper fullbacks have changed this team entirely. Genuinely believe we'd be further up the league and challenge for Europe. It wouldn't just be a hope, it'd be a very real possibility. We limit our wingers, forwards and midfielders, all of their options, by having fullbacks who simply cannot attack. Michalenko tries, but he's crap at it. David Murphy says Beto should be on his bike. He'll be in Italy come January. Steve P says, we clearly improved under Moyes, but the way we play for me still isn't quite right. People talking about Calvert-Lewin, but I guarantee if either stayed, he wouldn't have more than 2 goals. Even though we're a better team than Leeds, they still play better attacking football and create more clear-cut chances for the striker. We simply don't create for a centre-forward. We don't even put the ball into the box. Barry and Beto will both have more goals playing for Leeds, so clearly there's an issue. Just bringing in a new striker won't change much unless we change how we play. Unless it's a top one who can just do it on his own, which is unlikely. Yeah. Seeing a lot of people were going on about Gyökeres. We should have got him. No, not before Saturday. Sorry, not after Saturday. But you watch him on Saturday, 70 million quid. And that's the problem, isn't it? It's
how much you pay. It's that mega premium.
You looked at him. Did you really look at him and think,
no,
70 million? I wish we'd have paid that for him, because I didn't. Lad hardly had a kick. You know. Everton Vikings really don't understand why he doesn't ever bring Asnu on, even for the last 20 minutes. He's a very, very talented footballer. He may not be up there physically, but he won't get there by not playing. Just little things like that annoy me.
There's 6 teams below us in the XG table. The bottom 3, and then starting immediately below us in order of going down. Tottenham, Villa, Sunderland. So XG is a liar sometimes.
No, it is, isn't it? It's just all XG tells you is the quality of chances you create.
Oh, absolutely. That's not all. Whether you took them or not.
You look at Morgan Rodgers, 2 goals on Sunday against United. They weren't great XG.
That's right.
He's cut in and bent 2 of them. The same goal, wasn't it? Just the same goal twice. Simon Taylor says, afternoon everyone, was looking forward to the Burnley game. Now I've seen who the ref is, my blood pressure's already rising.
Pawson, isn't it?
Is it Pawson again?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
How do we keep getting him?
We're clearly not making it clear that we don't want him.
Have a good Christmas, everyone. Evan Viking says, don't think it matters who we have up front. We don't create chances. If we play to Beto's or Barry's strengths, we'd score more goals, but we don't play to either of their strengths. We create no clear-cut chances at all, and Moyes won't change the system, so we're going to be in this until something changes. Yeah, Phil said, afternoon, hope you all have a good Christmas. What striker should we go for in January that we could realistically get? I'd love Richie back, but don't see it happening now. He's the only player who Spurs have who seems to have any heart in that team. Yeah, I honestly don't know, mate. I don't know who they could go for and realistically get. Because there's no guarantees. Richie's about the best guarantee you can get. I would be going for Brennan Johnson, though. Yeah. If I was Everton. If he's available, I'd be all over that one. He can play right, can play left, can play through the middle. He's got a goal in him. He's quick.
He wanted to come here in the first place. No.
Mm-hmm. Well, he was interested before he went to Spurs, so yeah. David Atherton said, I thought it was supposed to be 3 or 4 windows before we get the players we want. Well, this is one proper window, so we have got to sign a left, right back, striker, and fast winger is a must. Well, there's loan available, isn't it? There's loans, so we just got to try to pad it out a bit, I think, David. I think if they could get a forward player who had a goal in him, it'd make a big difference. You know, they're not going to go and pay money, are they? If they were going to go and pay 40, if they really wanted to make a huge statement, they'd go and pay 40, 50 million and buy Agahauer at Porto, formerly Omarodian, who's 21, powerful, quick, and will score goals. But I don't see that happening, even if they sold Beto. So they're going to be looking, I imagine, for a loan. Otherwise, it'll be a gamble again. So I don't know. But maybe they could go and get fullbacks or a winger who's not getting games. Bob Pendleton says, we all know we need 1 or 2 fullbacks in January. If a midfielder comparable to Conor Gallagher, comparable to Jimmy Garner, someone like Conor Gallagher is available and willing to come to Everton, would you buy them and put Jimmy at right back? In my opinion, if he plays to his levels at right back, he could be in contention for the England World Cup squad. He could be in contention because his versatility. But if there was a midfield player available, would you go and bring him in this mid? I know Harrison Armstrong's coming back, but another one as well.
Are we collecting midfield players when we need forwards?
Play James Garner at right back. Then it solves the right back issue.
Absolutely.
Because let's be honest.
As a loan, you mean?
Patterson was on the other day.
He's never got near, did he?
Well, he was ready.
Yeah.
Moyes had them warmed up.
Yeah.
He was ready to come on. He just left them for the last 10 minutes.
But he warmed up the whole bloody game.
No, but he had his shorts.
Oh, did he get that?
His shorts.
Okay.
Shin pads. He was warming up in front of him. Moyes was giving him instructions, and then he sat them back down. He didn't get it. So he's going to go, isn't he? I imagine.
You would think so.
Coleman doesn't seem like it's a viable option anymore.
No.
So what, do we just stick with Jake then? No. Or do we get maybe another midfielder in?
And that's where they need to be bold, isn't it? In the context of, which I think is a summary of what you're saying is, if you can't get on loan the quality of right back that you want, find another way then. And you go, well, I'll put James Garner there then. Well, you need another midfield player then. Okay, there you go. Now you can either go at that proactively, or you can react, which is where you're coming from, which is if these midfield players are available, would you take one so you can play James Garner at right back? Well, yeah, of course you would. Surely.
Daniel Chair says, afternoon lads, Merry Christmas. Missed yesterday's show due to Christmas shopping, want to say. What a fantastic display. You've put the 1876s, but the 1878s, obviously, Danny, obviously it's...
Gone early there.
Obviously, it's just a slip there. It was an amazing... I mean, what did you make of it, John? The
tremendous
display.
Yeah,
the
tremendous.
And that was great, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was really good. Colin says, hope we can get through this Christmas period. I think John's right. We don't know where we are. I have everything crossed. Jake says this feed the Scousers bollocks should be completely condemned by the Premier League and put under the same category as other chanting. Utterly despicable. Harrison Darby says, get rid of McNeil. Colin says, if we had all our players back, I believe we'd have no problem in winning 3 out the next 4, but with what we have, I'm not sure. But I guess I'm doing the Everton thing, which I must stop doing. This is what Everton do for me. Give me doubt. Well, there's still difficult games. Can Everton score goals is the key. If Everton had the full squad, then yeah, we should be looking to win all 4 of the next 4.
Yeah.
We might just have to grind them out. We might have to grind a win out at Burnley, see whether we can grind a good positive result out against Forest, and then the 2 home games. Hope that Dewsbury Hall's available for those 2. Hope that Everton have managed to get 1 loan signing in at least before that Brentford game to boost everyone on the squad. Hope Senegal have been knocked out. You know,
They play tonight, don't they? Is it today they start?
Was it today or was it yesterday?
I don't know. James will tell us, yeah. Because Egypt played, didn't they?
Senegal played today.
Yeah,
Today, is it?
Yeah, I thought it was today, yeah. It was Egypt yesterday, wasn't it? Because Salah scored an injury
Oh,
time.
did he? Yeah.
Yeah. 4 minutes into injury time or something, wasn't it?
Fair play.
For them to win.
91st minute. He scored.
Okay. So in injury time, anyway.
Real_easy says, how big of a miss do you think Branthwaite is currently to our
Who?
side?
We've not had him to miss him, have we, I suppose? But clearly, he's the best central defender we've got, so we must be missing him. And I think, again, going back to that left-sided thing, it would help. You know, Mikalenko wouldn't look as bad. He'd have Branthwaite's pace behind him, so maybe he would feel a bit more comfortable trying to go past Jack and not getting the ball, but running the decoy, whatever they're called, 3rd man runs or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
And we need to know when he's back. We got told last week he's on the grass, didn't we? Do we know what's happening with KDH? Is he still going to be mid-Jan, or we just don't know?
Don't know. It's not been said, has it?
No. So
Been said.
there'll be questions.
So I'm hoping he's available for Wolves from Brentford.
Yeah.
Brentford and Wolves.
So early in the new year rather than mid. And that would be like a nice little momentum thing, wouldn't it? Because if Senegal go all the way, if you get KDH back in early January, perhaps Branthwaite in the same window sort of thing, give or take, and then the 2 guys come back from AFCON, and you've brought someone in January, before you do it, you're getting carried away with optimism.
Yeah.
Particularly if you just nailed the year with finishing off with whatever, you know, a win and a draw as a minimum.
Yeah.
So
No, I'm not worried Branthwaite might be finished, to that comment.
No.
Tom says Branthwaite's injury is weird. Players are back quicker from a broken leg. Well, no, he got a hamstring injury. They didn't want to operate on it because they thought it settled down. It then got aggravated again, and they decided to have surgery on it. When you have surgery on a hamstring, it's 3 or 4 months out before the back. That's just what it is. Got to let it all settle down and recover. So if they'd had the operation in August when he did it against Roma, he'd have been back now playing, sure. But obviously, it's always advantageous not to have surgery. If you can manage it without surgery, it's always the best option.
if you break something, it's easier to see that it's fixed, right? And they are pretty standard recovery timetables, right? Soft tissue stuff. How do you even know? Well, this is why you get players breaking down, because everything looks fine.
Everything looks good.
As soon as they stretch, bang.
Leg breaks, and I broke my leg, you know.
Ditto,
You come back.
Playing footy.
Terrible tackle,
Ditto, yeah.
You come back with the leg, because it calcifies around the break, generally the leg's stronger than before it was. You've got obviously a period of time where you've got to get back. You've got to go past the bruising, getting kicked on it. Because I broke mine, came back too quick, got whacked on it again, a bad tackle again, thought it broke it again. And I hadn't, it was just bruised. So that was another 6 weeks while the bruising went down on it. And then came back. And then you have to go through that, getting tackled and getting up and going, is it still working? You know, the first 3 or 4 times you get whacked badly, you get up panicking, and then you sort of go through
An
it.
extended time out from breakages, or if it's a dirty break, you know.
No, mine was quite clean,
yeah.
but the bruising on the bone.
You will have soft tissue challenges around it, yeah.
But hamstring injuries, groin injuries can go on and on and on.
Because DCL knows that.
You're sprinting, aren't you? And
absolutely.
all that. So,
and until you put it under stress, in the certain circumstances.
You never quite know.
It is literally, we won't know Branthwaite's all right until he's done a number of games.
Look at Tahi. Yeah. He had surgery. The end of last season, he'd done his hamstring, didn't he? Was it City at home?
Yeah,
He'd done it, didn't he? And he'd played every game, for every minute of every game for us since he signed. And he only he was available for day one, wasn't he? But it took him a while to get fully back up to speed. But he's played every game. And ideally, if Branthwaite would have been fit as well, he would have been able to be rested for the odd game and let him just get back into it, but he couldn't. So, DB Cooper says, look at Aaron Hickey, how long he was out, hamstrings are terrible. They are, with Dom, wasn't it?
Years.
Dom's been knackered, wasn't he? And I know it was his thigh as well. Gabam the thigh, wasn't it?
But I mean,
the muscle, it's one of them. Channel 4, the AFCON's on if people are interested in that. But so listen, 3 o'clock, we are live. Got a special guest. Ped will be on at 3 as well. He is here. He's just heading over there. And we'll be having a bit of a laugh and having some Christmas quizzes and stuff like that. So join us at 3 for a 2-hour Christmas show. We're having a break, and then David Moyes is giving his press conference at 1:30. So hopefully we'll have a little bit of an update on the likes of Dewsbury Hall, and people, well, they will just be keen in Dewsbury Hall, really, won't it? And maybe Branthwaite, like John said, someone will ask him about that. And if there's anything groundbreaking that comes out in the press conference, we can talk about it at 3 when we're live.
Fantastic.
Right, see you in a bit. Bye.
Take